Welcome everyone. My name is Anna Krueger and I'll be your host today. And today we're going to be talking about how to have a conversation with for sale by owners. How many of you are new to calling for sale by owners? Tell me in the chat box. There's so many of you. I can't see all of you. So the chat box is the best place to tell me. And then if you've called FSBOs before and you're looking to level up, tell me in the chat box that you are not new to this. I just want to see. Looks like a lot of you are new, which is awesome that you're here. Some of you have done this a few times, maybe a lot of times. Awesome. Hey, I have huge respect for you showing up to go deeper on a topic you already know something about. So I'm glad to have you here. I do have one quick housekeeping item to say. So have you ever had internet issues at your house and then your phone breaks and everything breaks all in 1 week? That would be me. Well, I found out today my internet is great. I have a voltage problem at my house. So the power company is headed to my house. But the point is, if I disappear, will you all just come back? Because what happens if the voltage gets, it sounds scary. I'm a little bit nervous to be honest, but I apparently have a voltage problem at my house and that's, it causes my internet to go out and we're fixing it today, hopefully. But all that to say, if I disappear, please come right back. And we'll pick it right back up when we left off. I only go off for a second and then I come back. So hopefully that'll get fixed soon. But today we're going to be talking about for sale by owners. And the reason I'm passionate about this topic is I used to honestly be terrified calling for sale by owners. And I don't use that word lightly. I would procrastinate all day. I would call everyone else and then wait. I knew I'd have to call them at some point. And I would wait till the end of the day. And I would literally have a stomach ache going into calling them. And it was from anxiety. And the truth is, I was that way for probably 6 weeks or so. Once I figured out what to say with the for sale by owner and how to have them talk with me, they truly became one of my favorite lead sources. It got to the point where, I need another appointment today. Let me go ahead and just call some for sale by owners. And I started averaging one out of about 5 to 8 or 3 to 8 FSBO pickups would lead to an appointment set. When I say appointment set, I don't mean, can I come just walk through your house? It was, let's meet to list your house. And they knew that that's what we were meeting for. And 1 out of 3 on my best day, 8 on my worst day would set an appointment with me. So I want to pass along to you what I learned the trick was, because there is a technique that helps them be comfortable talking with you. I definitely encourage you to take notes. And one thing that I want to say about for sale by owners is they are a gift to us right now with the market. How many of you are seeing a lot of for sale by owners in your area? I'm just curious. There's so many different markets represented. Were any of you in the industry in 2020? There were no FSBOs to be found. No, nowhere. Remember with the memes where there were children's playgrounds in the backyard for sale for $300,000? Remember those memes on social media? You could sneeze and sell your house as a for sale by owner. Now, even homes that are listed are sitting longer, and definitely homes listed for sale by owner, they're sitting. The gift of that is they realize I need help. I can't do this. And so that gives us an opportunity to find listings. And if you've ever read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, or really any book about real estate, you know that listings are what drive business. Because when you have listings, you will have buyers, right? So if you want more buyers, go find listings. If you want a business that's sustainable and will last, go find listings. So that's the name of the game right now. And FSBOs are a gift to us in today's market. So today we're going to talk about for sale by owner calling. This is recorded. So if you hear a nugget that you want to go back and re-listen, or if I'm talking fast because I want to give you as much as I can in 30 minutes, in your notes, just put, 5 minutes into recording, go back and listen to that. We will send all of you the recording after today. Just a quick housekeeping item, because we are talking about for sale by owners. Make sure you do not call people on the do not call list. Right? And don't leave artificial voicemails. So if you're going to leave a voicemail, use your mouth, not a recording to leave the voicemail. So that covers that right there. So let's go ahead and jump in to today's topic. So what I'm going to teach you is first the foundational order of a conversation. If you've ever taken the class Mega Lead Conversion, you've seen this before. And so what this is, it's a structure for every lead source. Who here has maybe joined a team or joined a brokerage and you were handed a stack of 10 to 20 or more different dialogues to use for different lead sources? Anybody? That was me when I first started. It was overwhelming. And the thing is, how long does it take to gain mastery? So when you are working on a new skill, they say it takes how many hours to gain mastery? And you can either unmute or tell me in the chat box.
10,000.
10,000 hours. Yep, 10,000 hours to gain mastery. So if I have a different method for every lead source I call, can we all just agree it's going to extend how long it will take you to get to mastery, right? So we actually want one structure for how we talk to leads, no matter where they came from. They could be a for sale by owner. They could be a referral. They could be your best friend, an internet lead, an open house lead. They all fall into the structure I'm about to give you. So today is about for sale by owners. What I'm about to teach you, though, you could actually use for anybody you talk to in the real estate realm, okay? So the first thing we want to talk to people about is their personal motivation. And we'll tie this to FSBOs in the next few slides. So motivation, somebody tell me, when I say motivation, how do you interpret that in your brain? Because there's different definitions out there for what motivation means. What do you think motivation means when I say that?
It's their why. Why are they selling? Why do I need to sell?
Exactly. Exactly. You guys are getting it. Donna, Teresa in the chat box said the same thing. Yeah. What's their reason? What's their why? And also, it's not, I want to downsize. Why do they want to downsize? Right? So in your notes, I hope all of you are taking notes. Next to this point right here, write down the emotional reason they're moving. The next thing I want you to write down is, on average, it takes 3 minutes to uncover this. On average, 3 minutes. Timed it over and over. It's 3 minutes. Okay? Am I frozen? No. Oh, y'all are awesome. So many of you were looking down and still that I thought I froze. I think you were actually just taking notes. That's amazing. I have trauma from my getting kicked offline. I totally thought I was frozen. Okay, that's amazing. So digging for motivation, that should take 3 minutes on average. And I say that because part of what helped me be successful was making the decision, I'm not going to stop asking them about their reason for moving until it's 3 minutes. And that did lead to some success. And have you ever had somebody, when you go to pre-qualify them and you ask them their financials and who the decision makers are, have you ever had anybody say to you, why are you asking me all those questions? Have you ever had anybody almost act like, why do you need to know that? What's your reason for getting in my business here? Well, a lot of times it's because we didn't set it up for why we were asking. So see here with digging for motivation, 3 minutes. Once you have it, 3 minutes in, you're going to say, okay, great. Well, let's see what we need to do to make that happen. And then you're going to go to part 2, which is pre-qualifying. So now I'm going to go into all the questions around who are the decision makers? How much do you want to spend? What's your budget? What's your timeline? All of those questions. If they're a seller, I'll be asking, what do you owe on your house? You know, who's on the title? What improvements have you made, if any? So when I say great, let's see what we need to do to make it happen, I found less people were getting snarky with me because I set it up. Now they understood, okay, because of your motivation, let's see what we need to do. I have some questions for you. And I'm setting it up now to have it make sense why I'm asking those questions. The reason it's in parentheses is if they're not motivated, you're just going to skip pre-qualify. You know, if somebody's not motivated, you do not need to pre-qualify them. All right, let's go on to the next one. So the next step is literally your next step is. Again, I'm going to tie all this to for sale by owners in just a moment. Right now, this applies to any lead that you talk to. Your next step is. The reason I have stars there is everyone you talk to, unless they say, take me off the list, don't call me again, everyone you talk to gets a next step. So let me ask you, when you are talking to someone not interested, They maybe requested a while ago. They already bought and sold a house. They want to die in the house they're in. What would a next step be for that person? I have an idea. You guys might have ideas I don't have. So what might be the reason to stay in touch, and what would the next step be for someone not interested?
Perhaps want to put them on kind of a monthly info about the value of their home in the neighborhood so they can keep on top just in case they might want to sell again.
Yeah, that could be a next step. Yep. Barb says they may know someone that needs to sell. Yeah, you can have a great conversation with someone who doesn't ever move, but because you built such rapport and you had such a great conversation, they start sending referrals your direction. So a good next step for someone not interested is let's stay in touch. So really the next step for us, Deborah, is simply to stay in touch, just in case things change or in case you know someone that I could help. And then the last step is to give it a deadline. So that might be the next step is to stay in touch. I'll contact you in 3 months, ideally, and this is where we'll start talking about for sale by owners. Ideally, it's your next step is to meet with me. Let's pick a time. And that would be next step deadline. Let's meet, let's pick a time. So that's the foundational order of every conversation. So if you have an open house lead come to you, great. What brought you to the open house today? What has you thinking about moving? A web lead comes in. Awesome. What caused you to start checking into real estate? And that's going to get you into motivation, pre-qualify, give them a next step and a deadline. So let's tie this now to for sale by owners. And you're going to understand why I took the time to explain all that as I get to talking about for sale by owners. For those of you that have called for sale by owners, you may know what I'm talking about. But have you ever called a for sale by owner and right away ask them about their motivation? What do they say? Because I've done it. So, hey, I see you have a house for sale. What makes you want to move? You know what they say? Why do you need to know that? Which, by the way, I think that's totally valid, right? If somebody called me and I had no context for them and they asked me why I wanted to move and I have a house for sale, like, why do you need to know that? I think that makes a lot of sense, actually. The other thing that they say is, do you have a buyer? That's the other thing that they say. Like, what are you asking me? Just, do you have a buyer or do you not have a buyer? What's up? So I learned that I still need motivation first. I still do. The pattern never changes. It's always motivation, pre-qual, next step, deadline. Always. If you want to write that out, stick it up in the space where you work so you start to memorize and internalize that, do it. That's always the order. But I had to change the dialogue a little bit so that the for sale by owners were willing to talk with me. So what I learned to do is ask them, and I'll give you the dialogue in a minute. I'll demonstrate it. Ask them what was so great about their house in case any of my buyers wanted to buy it. And they would start telling me all the wonderful features of their home. Oh, it's got, great trees. It's got wonderful neighbors, great school district. Because I'm asking them, hey, if I have a buyer that might be interested, what would I tell them about your house? So they're going to give me all the good details. Can you see how once they give me all the good details of your house, it's now really easy to say, wow, what has you thinking about selling? It sounds like a great place. And now I'm asking them about their motivation, but now they're more willing to talk with me. There's more of a relationship. Does that make sense to everyone? Awesome. So I would love to demonstrate this. I do need someone willing to unmute, make sure your background is quiet, and you're going to be a for sale by owner. I will be the agent. In your notes, maybe jot down 15 minutes in that you'll want to listen to this again. And I'm going to demonstrate for you how you would talk with a for sale by owner.
I got it, Ann.
Johnny. Okay, awesome. So Johnny, in this setting, do be willing to talk to me. I'm not looking to have 1,200 objections. But if I say, tell me about your house, a lot of for sale by owners will say, well, it's online. Look at the ad. That's what a lot of them do. So you can do that. I do want you to be pretty realistic here. So, all right, Johnny, ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Johnny, this is Anna, Con from the Haro Group. Thank you so much for taking my call today. I'm calling because I see you have a house for sale by owner. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. And
Awesome.
you're an agent?
I am a realtor, and I have about 12 buyers looking for a house. So I'm calling to see a bit more about your home. Maybe it's a good fit for one of them. So tell me a little bit about your home.
Uh, you can see the pictures online, can't you?
Yep, I actually have the ad in front of me. Here's the thing, Johnny. And by the way, this will take a little bit of research. Here's the thing, Johnny. In our market, there's about 206 homes listed right now, just like yours, that are 3-bedroom, 2-bath in that school district. So if I had to convince my buyer that your house was the one to buy out of all 206 options, what might I tell a buyer?
Well, my home is the only one on the block with a red door.
Okay. What
All
else?
right.
Go ahead.
And
You.
it has a pool in the back.
Okay.
It has, we got sunken ceilings put in there. Instead of 1.5 story, it's 2.5 stories. And
Okay.
most of the other houses are just 1.5 stories. So yeah, it's I got going on with this one.
Awesome. That sounds like a great place. Um, it sounds like a really nice house. What has you thinking about moving?
Well, my kids they done graduated out of high school and they done moved out to college, and it's just me and my wife now. So we just want to downside.
Okay, I gotcha. You know, some people keep the big house so the kids come back as they get older or whatnot. What has you guys thinking about downsizing?
Uh, it's just too much house for me and the wife, and we was already getting a little shaky with keeping it up. So we're just gonna go ahead and get a smaller one now.
Okay, awesome. And we'll stop there. I would continue digging into his motivation. I don't have enough motivation from him just yet. I would say, well, that's amazing. What would you do if you didn't have so much of a house to keep up with? Tell me a little bit more about the value of having a smaller home. I would go down that path with Johnny. For now, I'm going to stop and talk through what we just did. Thank you, Johnny. Give him a round of applause, everyone. I used to take sign language. You know how they clap in sign language? They go like this. So I always tell my webinars, this is how clap like this. There you go. All right. So I'm curious, and speak up quickly because of time. What did you notice as we did that role play? And by the way, y'all can't see me. Maybe Rodrigo, you can help me out. We keep getting a lot of background noise. If you can just make sure you're muted, unless you're actively talking, that would be really helpful. And Rodrigo, if you could help out, that would be great. Okay, so what did you guys notice as we did that? What stuck out to you as something to perhaps repeat?
He became a lot less defensive the more you talked, and where he kind of felt like it was a conversation instead of whatever he thought was happening at the beginning of the call.
Yeah. Which, by the way, can we just all, as realtors, acknowledge it's a little humorous when we call for sale by owners as a realtor and we represent buyers. Isn't it just a little funny how they get snarky with us sometimes? I always think to myself, like, this doesn't make sense. Why are you being snarky with me? And not all of them are, but some of them are. Yeah, so we want to disarm him. And have you heard that idea of match their energy? Now, when they are being rude, I'm not going to be rude back. But when they say the ad is online, just look online. Or in his case, can't you see the pictures? Can you see how they're kind of coming towards you a little bit? Like, just look online. So I'm going to go back towards them. I'm going to match the energy, but in a nicer way. But that's where you want to very firmly, but kindly say, absolutely, I can see your ad. And there are X amount of homes very similar to yours also listed. So Johnny, if I want one of my buyers to buy your house, I'm on your side. I want to get them to buy your house. What would I tell them? And guys, I'm telling you, it works, it works, it works. If they don't answer that, they usually didn't hear the question. And if you repeat yourself, they'll start talking. What for sale by owner would not answer that question, right? It just makes sense. So some of them won't do that. Some of them, you'll just say, hey, I have 3 buyers, or I'm on a team and collectively we have 50 buyers. Share your own statistics there. If you don't have any buyers, maybe you're a single agent and you usually work listings, you don't work with buyers, figure out how many buyers are represented by your brokerage or by your local office, right? So you could say, hey, I'm part of a network that's currently representing X amount of buyers. I would love to see if your house is a good fit for one of my buyers. Can we all just agree, even if they don't list with you, which I'm going to help you get them to list with you, but even if they don't, can we all just agree that if you just found a house for one of your buyers, that's still a closing, it's still a win, and you're helping, like everybody still wins, right? That's part of why this feels good is it really does. Everybody still wins if that house gets sold, right? So some of them, when you say, hey, I have 12 buyers, tell me about your home, they will just immediately start talking with you. And some of them will do what Johnny did, which is we'll just look at the ad. And now, do y'all feel comfortable on how to navigate that now? Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to walk through now how we would continue the conversation. So I'm still in motivation. It sounded pre-qualifying, like, tell me about your house, but really I was just getting him comfortable talking with me so I could say, wow, sounds like a great place. What makes you want to move? And now I'm going to transition and continue into motivation. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to role play here just because of time. So at this point, I would continue spending 3 minutes digging into motivation. Once I felt I uncovered it, here's your transition into talking about listing, okay? So Johnny, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that, and you could say my team, my brokerage, or my buyers know about your home. And then make sure you do that. If you say you're going to do it, make sure you follow through. So I'm going to make sure that whoever knows about your home and see if we maybe have a buyer for you. Yeah, I'm curious. Most people, here's the thing to say. Most people make more money when they list with an agent. What would need to happen? And that question is very specific because it's solution finding. What would need to happen for you to be comfortable listing your home? What would need to happen for you to be comfortable listing your home? I'm not asking what made you go for sale by owner because he's going to give me all the objections. It's a solution question. So again, I'm going to make sure our buyers know about your home. Yet I have to ask you, most people tend to make more money when they list with an agent. What would have to happen for you to list your home? And then just see what they say. The conversation is going to be somewhat organic here. So I can't necessarily say every possible thing that could happen, right? But what often it boils down to, usually, is, well, how can you make me more money? That is usually somewhere what comes up at some point, okay? So I need a different person, just give someone else a chance, unmute, and I'm gonna do an analogy with you. But I do need someone who's a skeptical for sale by owner. How can you make me more money? That doesn't really make sense. Barb, awesome. Thank you, Barb. All right, Barb. So we've already been talking. I've got your motivation. And now I said, a lot of times you can make more money when you list with an agent. And you're like, how? Huh? Okay. All right. So Barbara, a lot of times you can make more money when you list with an agent. Go ahead.
That doesn't make sense. How would that happen?
Yeah, it's a really great question. So Barb, let's go over an analogy. And by the way, this works so well, you guys. Let's go over an analogy. So Barb, let's say that you and I decided on a Saturday morning to go to an auction together, just because it sounded fun. And there were 2 auctions on the same street with all the same items across the street from each other. But one auction had 2 people and the other auction had 300. Which auction is going to make more money?
Well, the one with 300, yes.
Okay. Pause. If they don't say that, they misheard your question and ask it again.
Okay.
When they hear you, they always say the one with 300. Okay. Barb, what made you say the one with 300?
Well, because they have more people in attendance, they are going to sell more items, make more money.
There you go. And Barb, that's why listing with an agent can typically make you more money because of the things I do to get your house in front of more people. Okay. And we'll stop there. Thank you, Barb. That was really helpful. By the way, remember, you're going to get the recording so you can replay that a few times if you need to grab all that. Okay. I'm moving fast to give you as much as I can, knowing you can re-listen. Okay. Here's the thing about the analogy. And guys, I'm telling you, this works so well. It's so helpful to them. And you're going to help somebody make more money on their house. The beauty of that analogy is you're asking them which one will make more money, and they are telling you in different words, but they are telling you the one with more exposure, right? But then you ask them again, what made you say that? And they tell you more people equals more money. And sometimes what they do, because I used to set about 20 for sale by owner appointments a month, so I really know how they talk to us. A lot of times what they actually do is they'll say, well, more exposure equals, I see what you're doing. That's often what they do. Something like that. And then what I like to do to set the appointment is something like this. Listen, like I mentioned, we have 12 active buyers. It may be that one of them wants to buy your house. What would it hurt for us to get together about potentially listing your house? Worst case scenario, I'm going to know more about your house and I have 12 active buyers. Okay. Best case scenario, we talk, it makes sense to list your house and I help you earn more money. So what do you think about getting together 45 minutes and we'll talk about listing your home, and it's really a win-win for you either way? Because that's the truth. I might meet with them and realize it actually is a great fit for one of my buyers. And if he doesn't list with me, there's still an opportunity to help him sell his home and have one of my buyers buy a home, right? That's why it works so well. So for sale by owners, this is the market opportunity right now with these for sale by owners. So here's the screen of what I just said. If you want to take a picture of that real quick, you can. I don't usually say that, but I know we're moving fast. So there's the screen. Again, you'll get this recording. And here's the transition. And I already did all this. Okay. And then if they're skeptical, you'll do that analogy. Okay. So here's the most important thing to remember about for sale by owners is make sure you get their motivation. That's the rapport building piece. That's the thing that helps you get to know them. And that's what helps you come into an understanding of what they want. And good agents know what people want so you can help them get it, right? Good agents think a lot like a coach. And the job of a coach is, what do you want? And now let me help you get it. So motivation really is a huge piece of working with for sale by owners. Most for sale by owners will list their home on average within about a month. Again, it's give or take, but usually they will list within about a month. So if you call them and they just listed and they're not super interested, chances are really strong that they will be as time goes on. So don't discount them if they don't interact with you right away. All right. So let me ask y'all, did you learn something today that you think could help you earn more money in your business and have more closings? So there's a class I'm really passionate about that I teach that starts August 21st. It's actually only about a month away, which is crazy. That class is mega lead conversion. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. But I'll just tell you straight, people who sign up at the last second create a little bit of organizational chaos on our side. So to help you desire to sign up early, I've decided that whoever has registered by tomorrow at midnight, I'm going to randomly select someone from that list and give them a free coaching call. So to be eligible for that, just sign up by tomorrow at midnight. So let me tell you a little bit about that class where you can learn more like what we just did. I saw a question come in asking about what if they ask about like commission and they have an objection. You know, in this webinar, we don't have time to cover that today, but we spend a lot of time covering that in the class Mega Lead Conversion. We actually spend 2 whole entire sessions just on objections and how to handle different objections. So the class I'm talking about is megaleadconversion.com. And it's an 18-week program, and we go through everything. You can see some of the topics here, but we go through everything from hello, how to actually keep them on the phone with you so they don't hang up on you, all the way through a signed agency agreement. I know signed agency agreements right now are a hot topic, right, in real estate. I want to comfort you by letting you know I come from a team that has always required agency, always. So to me, this is like, yeah, we've been doing this forever. So I feel very comfortable helping you navigate getting agency agreements signed, What does that look like? How do you navigate all that? That's kind of old hat, honestly, for our team. So we go through everything from hello all the way through setting them up to understand that they're going to be signing an agency agreement if they choose to work with you and you choose to work with them. We talk through what to do if they say, I'm busy, call me later. We talk through how to set an appointment that actually shows up. A lot of people struggle to have their appointments show up, and people in the program usually get about 70 to 80% showing, and then around 90 to 95% signing that agency. So we can help you with all that. It's a 6-month program. It's $199 a month for 6 months. For most people, if they even just got one closing, it's about 8 times return on investment. Honestly, though, you're going to get way more than if you only get one additional closing from it. Call me because there's a problem. I had someone about halfway through, so about 3 months in, tell me they were sitting in front of 10 extra people a month on top of what they were already doing, just from things they implemented from the program. Okay. And that was about 3 months in. So again, megaleadconversion.com. If you already know you're going to do it, sign up by tomorrow at midnight so you can be eligible to potentially win the random drawing where someone will get a free coaching call with me. Okay. And I'm honestly just doing that to make life easier as August 21st approaches. So we don't have a lot of last minute stuff. All right. So we are at time. I can hang on for about 3 extra minutes and then we do need to close the call. So what questions do you guys have about the class? If anything, or a takeaway. Somebody let me know I did my job today and you learned something. So a takeaway or a question about the class. Thomas, go ahead. You are muted. You'll need to unmute yourself. I'll see if I can help you out. While he's figuring that out,
There we
anybody
go.
else?
Okay.
There you go.
No,
ahead.
I took your course last year and it was wonderful. I will say that. And one of the reasons I got on today was because I'm really going to attack FSBOs, and your email was great. And to underscore and I guess further burn into my consciousness the foundational order of the conversation. That's so important. And as you say, I can tell everybody who's on this call, it works. It works. You start with motivation. They love hearing that you're interested in them.
Yeah.
And then that opens up the world to discuss it.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Thomas. I so appreciate you sharing that. It helps to hear from someone who's experienced it from the other side of implementing it. So thank you so much for sharing that. And that's the truth. I had a company call me today. They were a podcast agency. They help you get onto podcasts, and somehow we ended up on the phone. He asked me 0 questions about my goals. It was a 6-minute conversation. In the majority, he said, "Is it a good time?" What if I had said no? The call would have ended, right? And then the first 4 minutes were him talking all about his company, and I couldn't get a word in edgewise. And he asked actually 0 questions about my personal goals. I don't even know if he knows what I would want to talk on a podcast about. It turned me off to that company. To Thomas's point in the training today, when we start off asking about them, that's what builds the rapport and makes them want to engage with us, right? Awesome. Thank you, Deborah, for the comments in the chat box. I recognize a lot of you, just FYI. Barb, good to see you. Go ahead. Anybody else have a thought or question? Oh, Barb, go ahead. This will be the last one because of time. megaleadconversion.com for more stuff like this that applies to every lead. Barb, go ahead.
I have relocated and got my license in a different state. Does this help you come up with people? Because I don't have the sphere here.
Yeah. So Barb, and actually I need to get with you, Rodrigo, about this. I've had that question a lot lately. And so currently it's not in the curriculum, but I've considered adding a topic on where to find leads. It didn't used to come up as much. And my guess is because of the market shift, it probably is. But yes, but also no matter what lead source you're calling, it helps with that. We need to make sure everybody's muted here. There we go. So Barb, it will talk through how to discuss with any leads, whether you're circle calling, whether you're calling vendors, but yes, we're going to have that as a topic. Rodrigo's just hearing this for the first time. And also we have time for Q&A at the end of most sessions. And so that even could be a question that's brought up. If it wasn't taught that day and you need help with it, you could always ask at the end of a webinar. And you have access to me. You can, if you're in the class, you can email me and I respond to you.
Okay. Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah, I will say, I have a friend who relocated. I met her through my class, but we're friends now. But she called vendors like contractors, painters, people that would know people probably prepping a house to sell. She was going for listings. She didn't know anybody. She moved to a new town to start an expansion team. Knew no one. She called contractors, painters, building guys and just said, hey, you know, I'm a realtor in town. I'm curious if anybody you know in your network is prepping their house to sell and they need a realtor. She had 3 listing appointments by the end of the day, or 3, it might've been 3 leads. I don't know if it was leads or appointments, but either way, that's a great, even if it's just 3 names to call, that's a great thing for your first day in a new place where you know 0 people, right? So that would be an idea for you, Barb. All right, well, we're well over time. My 3 o'clock appointment's probably not real happy with me, so I should probably go. But megaleadconversion.com, starting August 21st. If you already know you want to take it, sign up by tomorrow night at midnight so you can be eligible to potentially win the free coaching call, okay? All right, everyone, thanks for being here, and I'll see you soon. Have a great one.